Welcome to Potty, April 21, 2026.
3 cybersecurity stories caught my attention today. A warship getting tracked by a $5 gadget, Microsoft Teams turning into an attack playground, and Roblox cheats that somehow led to a major breach. Let's dig into what's actually happening here. So there's a post making rounds about a Bluetooth tracker hidden in a postcard that was mailed to a warship, and apparently it exposed the ship's location for 24 hours. We're talking about a $5 gadget putting a $585 million Dutch ship at risk. Now, I'm treating this as a discussion item since it's framed as a concern or a possibility rather than a confirmed incident report. But even as a hypothetical, this is fascinating from a security perspective. My take is this highlights something we don't talk about enough: the attack surface of physical mail. Think about it. Military personnel get mail, packages, promotional materials. If someone can slip a tiny Bluetooth tracker into something that looks legitimate, like a postcard, you've basically turned the postal service into a reconnaissance tool. The economics are terrifying. $5 to potentially track a $500 million asset. That's not sophisticated nation-state stuff. That's garage. What really gets me is the simplicity. We spend millions on electronic warfare countermeasures, signal intelligence, all this high-tech stuff, and then someone just mails you a tracker. It's like having the world's most sophisticated door lock and leaving your key under the mat. If this scenario is accurate, it shows how physical security and digital security aren't separate problems anymore. Every piece of mail becomes a potential attack vector. Moving to something that's definitely happening, Microsoft is reporting that Teams is increasingly being abused in help desk impersonation attacks. This one's not speculation. This is Microsoft saying they're seeing a pattern. And honestly, this makes perfect sense when you think about how Teams has become the default communication tool for so many organizations since the pandemic. Here's why Teams is perfect for these attacks. It feels internal and trusted. When someone messages you on Teams, your brain automatically categorizes it as probably legitimate because, hey, they're in your organization's system, right? Wrong. Attackers are figuring out ways to abuse Teams, to impersonate IT help desk staff, probably asking for credentials or remote access. It's social engineering with a Microsoft-branded wrapper, and that wrapper makes it incredibly effective. My read is this represents a broader shift in attack methodology. Attackers aren't just targeting email anymore. They're going where people actually communicate and collaborate. Teams, Slack, Discord, these platforms have become the new attack surface because that's where trust relationships exist. When your IT department messages you on Teams asking you to install something or verify your password, the psychological barriers are way lower than if they emailed you. And here's the kicker. Most organizations haven't adjusted their security awareness training for this. We're still telling people to be suspicious of phishing emails, while attackers have moved to platforms where suspicion feels antisocial. You don't want to be the person who's paranoid about your own IT team, right? That social pressure is exactly what makes these attacks work. Finally, there's this wild story about Vercel's security breach starting with malware disguised as Roblox cheats. Again, this is headline-level information, but the attack vector here is just chef's kiss perfect from an attacker's perspective. Think about who's downloading Roblox cheats. Kids, teenagers, people who aren't necessarily thinking about security implications when they want to get an edge in a game. What's brilliant about this is the target selection. Roblox has a massive user base, and people downloading game cheats are already in a mindset of, I'm willing to run sketchy software to get what I want. They're pre-selected for risk tolerance. Plus, game cheats often require elevated permissions to work, so users are already primed to click through security warnings. It's like attackers found the perfect cover story for malware distribution. The fact that this somehow led to a breach of Vercel, that's a development platform used by tons of companies, shows how these consumer-targeted attacks can have enterprise consequences. Maybe someone at Vercel had the malware on their personal machine. Maybe it was a supply chain thing. Or maybe there's some connection we're not seeing. But it demonstrates how the line between personal and professional security keeps blurring. So what's the pattern here? Physical mail becomes a digital attack vector. Trusted communication platforms become impersonation tools, and game cheats become enterprise malware. The common thread is attackers finding the gaps between our mental security models and actual reality. We're still thinking about cybersecurity like it's 2010, but the attack surface has completely changed. That's your cybersecurity reality check for today. Stay paranoid out there.